Welcome to the Spark Report. John W. Davis and Pavy. How you doing? Live on YouTube. How you feeling, Pav?
I'm good, man. How are you? When was the last one we did? It had to be about like a month ago. Was it a month, 2 months
It was
ago?
September. It was
September.
September, right at the end of the season.
Yeah,
You know,
which
we
was
had to
early for the
talk
Sparks.
and, we had to just kind of let them have some time off. But you and I, we spent a lot of time covering it as well. So it was nice for us to take a break, but I'm glad to be back here. And it's time to already start talking about free agency
Indeed.
because the LA Sparks have about
A
half
lot
the
of free
team.
agents.
Actually, more than half the team are some level of a free agent. They have
Yeah.
two that can only negotiate with the team, Chennai and Taya Cooper. Then they have a restricted in Brittany Sykes, meaning they can match if somebody wants to offer her a lot of money. They have the right to match, which that could get them in trouble if somebody wants to offer her a max, and build around her. And then they have Candace Parker, Nneka, Chelsea, Simone, and Raquana, all unrestricted free agents. And 4 out of the 5 of them, you could say those are max players on somebody's books.
I agree.
So that's a lot to talk about. But the person you have to start with Candace Parker. Can I start talking about Candace Parker?
Yeah.
Let me start. Okay, so I was listening to somebody's, I'll call it a hot take, and they were like, the two teams that they thought Candace Parker should go to were the Chicago Sky, because that's home for her. I'll respect that. But then what they said was Atlanta Dream.
I knew you were going to say those two teams, but
They said the Atlanta Dream. Now, first of all, that makes synergy with her TNT job. But if I listen to Candace Parker right this year and everything she said, and as much as she's become an activist, I can't see her signing with that team owned by that senator. What kind of statement is that making for herself? What kind of statement is that making for her daughter? Candace Parker does things to be examples for her daughter. She just signed on, her and her daughter signed on to be part owners of the new women's soccer team, Angel City FC.
I didn't know that.
Her and her daughter signed on to it.
I know that, but that's
LA.
dope.
That's super dope. Her whole life is LA based. Her whole brand is LA based. Yeah, she takes a red eye to go do TNT stuff during the season, but we've just shown that you don't have to be in studio to do work now during this pandemic.
Yeah.
We've just shown that you can do virtual just like that, just like she did virtual inside the Wubble.
I mean,
so hot take Candace Parker to the Dream. Yeah, it's nice on paper. To her, to the Sky, it's nice on paper, but I don't
even think it's worth talking about Candace Parker leaving the Sparks. It just doesn't, like, why. First of all, she is I mean, not to phrase it like this, but it's not a Simone Augusta situation. Whereas, like, obviously, Simone's been great, obviously, in the league, but last year, the previous year, she wasn't at that same level that she was. Candace is one of the best players in the league this year. Like, you really can't name 5 people. You'd be hard pressed to name 5 people that you thought were better than Candace Parker this year. She was far. She played every game. She was far and away the most consistent person on the team every single game, for the most part. Like, throughout the season, she was far and away the most consistent person on the team throughout the whole 22-game bubble season. So there's really also no reason for the Sparks to want her to leave. And if I'm Candace, my whole life is built in Los Angeles. And anything you're going to say, LA provides me better opportunities than Chicago does or than Atlanta does. Sure,
Candace Parker's home is here. Candace Parker's family is here.
Sure, like, Turner is there, but half of the season, depending on when it starts, half of the season going to be when they not even in season. So
No, 3/4, most of it
gonna be even when they're not even in season. So it's like, it don't really, to me at least, I don't even think it's worth talking. I think other people, sure, but I don't think it's worth talking about Candace Parker. To me, she's like a Kobe Bryant, a Dirk Nowitzki. Like, Candace Parker don't lead the Sparks. No, it's just like
and definitely not to go to Atlanta.
Definitely not
Candace
to go to
Parker's
anywhere.
trying to win championships.
No, but definitely not to go to anywhere. It doesn't. I mean, and also I think that any team I don't think Atlanta is that bad anyway. And I think if you put Candace on there, they will be a very good basketball team.
They're not bad, but no. This is my other thing. Let me get this in. Okay, so this is my other thing. We know how emotional and pride and proudful or full of pride that Candace
Pride.
Parker can be. Prideful. Yes, we know how emotional and prideful she can be. You're going to tell me that when these other 11 teams come calling, Candace Parker is going to be like, oh, yeah, cool. You want me to come there, but you ain't vote me on Defensive Player of the Year, first or second team? These coaches are the reason she didn't get on that. These coaches are the reason why after she wins DPOY, she then feels snubbed. So you're going to sit here and have a conversation. Now, the only coach that said he voted for her was Brian Agler. Brian Agler is gone. So unless Brian Agler is going to some other team and then he's going to recruit her afterwards, he gets a job. But right now, he doesn't have a job. There's one opening in the league right now. Think about, like, is she really going to go to Atlanta when Atlanta, like, coach most likely didn't vote her on first team or second team?
I mean, like, if she was really that frustrated with LA, then, like, maybe. But one, I don't think she's frustrated with the Sparks. I think she's frustrated with not winning championships. Right. I don't think she's frustrated with the organization. I think that she understands that the organization is doing the best that they can. I think they can be better, but I think the organization is doing the best that they can. They're not, like, not putting her in positions to win basketball games. Now, things don't go right now, but able to get over the hump with Connecticut the past 2 years. But still, I don't think that the franchise just isn't trying. They're making moves. They're trying to put competitive basketball teams on the court. So I don't think there's a reason to leave LA. I also don't think that any place else, unless she's about to go to, Seattle or go to Connecticut, something like that, presents her, or Washington, presents her a better chance to win right now immediately, especially at her age. She said many times, I have way more basketball behind me than I do in front of me. And also at her age, do you really want to get used to a whole new system? Like, the Sparks built their roster still to this day around Candace Parker. If you go somewhere else, it's not going to be built around you. You are going to be a piece that's probably there to assist a team who is built around somebody else, or just a piece to assist a roster to hopefully put them in position to win. Well, as opposed to with the Sparks, from my eyes, it still seems like this team is still highly solely built around Candace Parker.
It definitely was in the wubble, and she proved that she still has, yes, she doesn't have as much basketball in front of her as she has behind her, but she still has quality, high-level, top 5 player in the league basketball. Because if you want to go off 2K ratings, her rating just came out. It's a 93.
Okay, 2K be tripping. Like, 2K be tweaking, though. 2K be tripping. 2K be tripping. 2K be tripping.
But she got a top 5 rating in the league. That's what I'm saying. She
got a top 5 rating in the league last year. And
no, she had like a 90 last year.
No, she did. She had a 93 last year. And
no. She had a 90. She had okay. No. Hold on. She had a 93. Wait. She had a 93 when they first came out with the ratings, but then at the beginning of this year, they had updated the ratings and downgraded her to a 90. And so she got back up to a 93 now.
That's cool, but if she look, last year she should have had 9.
All I'm saying
is 2K be tripping with their ratings. All I'm saying.
Well,
2K be tripping with their ratings.
I was trying to give her some props.
2K be tripping with their ratings.
But yeah, you're right. This team is Candace Parker's team. She'll be going into year 14. She has found a rhythm. She has found herself on defense. Like, that's not going to go away. She's not going to not play defense because it's another year. Like, yeah, she probably will never win Defensive Player of the Year again because of the circumstances, but I guarantee you that she'll be one of the best 15 or so defenders in the league for the next several years. Like, she's found something, okay? And they found something in her. And I also think that last year, we did a whole free agency show, and we were looking at different people and saying, like, oh, how would DeWanna Bonner fit? How would Angel McCoskey fit? And some other players. But we didn't think Christy Tolliver would ever come to the Sparks again. That wasn't even on our radar. So I still think they have an ability to have somebody who's not even on our radar be on this roster next year and still keep most of the players. Because you got to think about it like this. Candace Parker has been making basically $120,000 in the WNBA for the longest. Like, I'm not trying to be in her pockets, but clearly she was fine making that much money.
Oh, you saying she can take less money, or I don't know?
No, I'm not. She could take the same exact salary she's been taking.
About all that.
Look, all I'm saying is they have the ability.
Everybody ain't Tim Duncan. Look. I'm saying
they have the ability to make a super team.
Everybody ain't Tim Duncan.
The Sparks can make a super team.
Hey, yo, question. Serious question, because I actually do not know. Is there a luxury tax in the WNBA
No, you cannot go over the tax.
at
That
all?
was
You can't go.
you
You
cannot go
can.
over. No,
Okay.
you cannot. That's why they couldn't keep Beatrice Montpremier last year.
Okay.
Because right at that time, because they still had Christy and Chanae under salary, Beatrice's salary was like 2,000 over. So they just couldn't afford her on her new rookie scale because the new rookies got paid about 68,000, but the older rookies were getting paid like 57.
Okay.
So like that difference, like that's why Christina Nigwe was able to fit in there because her salary was technically less than Montpremier, even though she had another year of service.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there's no luxury tax. But that's what I'm saying, man. Look, the only person whose salary is set for next year that is guaranteed to be on the team that has a high salary is Christy Tolliver. Everybody else has room to negotiate.
Okay, so question. So this is a question. If you could see one person leaving, now we expect so NECA's contract is running off, and I was saying NECA's is out, Candace's is out, Chelsea's is out. That's probably the big
and Simone and Raquana.
Simone, yeah, but those are like
they make a lot of money though.
They make a lot of money, but those are like
made a lot of money.
Yeah, but those are like lower protocols. I think that when free agency officially starts, the top 3 people you want to check on: NECA, Candace, and obviously Chelsea. Yes. If you could see any of those 3 leaving, who would it be?
It's not Candace. And it's not Chelsea because I feel like Chelsea is attached to Candace.
So you think NECA would be the one the most likely to leave?
I don't think any of them are likely to leave. But if you're making me pick, I'm going to pick NECA. I have no clue where she would go.
If you're making me pick, I would pick Chelsea. I wouldn't pick. I think NECA people who have aspirations outside of basketball, which I think NECA also does. Like I think NECA is the person one day she may be a commissioner one day in the WNBA. Like who knows? Like that her path may take her there. Like who knows what her aspirations after basketball are. Also with her sister being.
A lot of people want her to actually be an elected official, like a politician. They want her to do something more than sports. Well, they want her to be like an actual political leader.
Well, LA is a great place.
Like Congress, Senate, be the first woman president, all of that stuff. That's what people want NECA to be.
Okay, well, LA is a great place to start all of those things. I think people who have high aspirations than basketball, I think LA and New York are the best places for you. So I can't see NECA leaving because, again, I think that she has aspirations that are so much higher than basketball. And also her sister is here. And I can't see her sister going anywhere either. And she seems to be, at least to me, to be a very family-oriented person, somebody who loves her family and wants to be close to her family and loves her sister. At least that's what it seems like to me she is. So I can't see her leaving.
But I see NECA as the one through everything that she did in the Wubble. I see NECA as the one who I have to give the max money to.
Of course. She's getting a max.
I have to give it to her. Candace may say, you know what? I want to win so bad that I'm going to do a 1 year and y'all take that little bit of money and y'all get this free agent for me. Like if y'all get this person, I'll take less.
But also with the Sparks, you really got to be careful. Like, I don't think adding more people is the answer. Like what else do they need? Especially when you bring it back in. I know people talk about, Liz Campbell. I think Liz is a free agent. If I'm like,
Liz is a free agent.
People are like, oh, you're going to add Liz. Why?
Why not?
Why?
Well, why not?
Shanae is still on the roster. You still have NECA. You still have Candace. You still have Maria, who I think needs more play. I think Maria will be a top, arguably 5 big woman in the league one day. She needs more playing time.
I agree.
Why do you need to add a Liz Cambage? I think
because you're making a super team.
I think
you're making a 1 year,
that super team don't make sense though. It doesn't make sense. I think that no, all the way. I think you have one. You have Christy, Candace, Chelsea, NECA. What you need? Ain't there 4 All-Stars?
You always want more.
You got 2 MVPs, 4 All-Stars.
You had 7 All-Stars. You had 6. If you bring Shanae, that's an All-Star. Raquana technically has been an All-Star. But okay, look, so somehow, some way, if you can keep all of them and then they can finagle the salaries and move them around a little bit. You telling me that if somehow they could get Aerial Powers, you'd be like, nah, we don't want Aerial Powers.
Ariel is different because here's the reason why she's different. Because she was a bench player in Washington.
Right.
Now she did start off starting this year, but then she got hurt, and that's something that I actually think would fit because I do still think the Sparks have still been weak at the guard position, and we've seen it that they still even this year kind of overloaded the center position. They still were kind of weak at the guard position. Ariel Powers would be different. That I would have no issue with.
So if Ariel Powers wants to come, you're gonna let her come, right?
Yes.
And you're gonna figure it out. Here's another player. Like let's just say because we had no idea DeWanna Bonner was going to actually go to the Connecticut Sun. Let's just say for some reason, like Alyssa Thomas is like, you know what? I want to be in LA. You're gonna tell Alyssa Thomas she can't come play for the Sparks?
What is she gonna do though?
I don't know, but you can figure it out.
What? How? Who? So how? Like, what you gonna run 3 forwards out there?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
She knows.
You just figure it out.
So your starting lineup gonna be Chelsea. It's gonna be Christy,
Alyssa Thomas, Candace Parker, and Nneka Ogwumike. And we're gonna figure it out.
Who's gonna shoot the ball?
Exactly. No,
exactly.
Everybody but Alyssa Thomas can shoot.
Exactly. No, they really can't. They're okay.
Candace can't shoot.
Okay. She's okay.
Candace was above average 3-point shooting this year. Christy Tolliver is definitely an above average 3-point shooter.
That's the only one.
Nneka is an above average 3-point shooter if she actually shoots the ball.
Okay. They have literally one person who I'm like, oh, that'll probably go in. Everybody else, I'm like, ah. And Alyssa's shoulders don't work. And Chelsea, and Chelsea, I love her. God bless her. But this season, from behind the 3-point line, that wasn't it. It was to the point where they was going on to every single screen.
Here's another player. Let's just say like Benaje Laney from Atlanta. Let's say she was cool with, her reemergence and, the fact that she made some second teams and first teams and she got her recognition. And what if she's like, you know what? I want to compete for a championship. I'll take whatever money y'all can carve out for me for a year, because if I get a championship with the Sparks, I'll be able to get a 3-4 year deal with another team.
What position does she play specifically?
She'd be a guard off the bench.
Guard is fine. If it's a guard, I have no issue with it. We talk about anything 3 and up, relax.
Okay. I mean, I know this isn't realistic, but let's just say see, this is the thing. Like, you have some of these.
Who?
Can I say it?
Go ahead, say it.
Diana Taurasi is from Southern California. She's a California girl.
Off the bench, G.
No, you start her.
So who coming off the bench, G?
Brittany Sykes.
Okay.
Brittany Sykes ain't gonna come off the bench for Diana Taurasi.
I'm not that.
Brittany Sykes can still get more minutes.
That I won't argue with. That I won't argue with. I won't argue with that.
Diana Taurasi has made her home in Phoenix, and she's the same type of player where you're saying Candace Parker's never going to leave. Diana Taurasi realistically is never going to leave. But if she does, if she's like one more ride, I can go home, or I can go play with, let's say Sue wants to keep playing, I can go home or go play with Sue. Like, you just got to let that happen and figure it out later.
Diana, I'm not mad at, but here's why I'm not mad at Diana. She can shoot.
Yes, she can.
Now, defensively, as far as starting wise, you're gonna get gashed from your guard spot. But what you hope is your front line will be formidable enough, and you would hope that you could outscore. You would hope that your guards could realistically put up, let's say, 45 to 50 points per game, to the point where it doesn't matter that we don't play that much defense in our backcourt.
You got to make all of these calls. Like, as unrealistic as Diana Taurasi on the Sparks is, you got to make that call. As unrealistic as Alyssa Thomas is on the Sparks, you got to make that call. Ariel Powers, she could be looking at a max contract from somebody, but you have to make that call. Who else on this list? I'm looking. I mean, those are the 3 that are unrealistic, but you have to make that call. Another player who might be great off the bench for experience is Candace Dupree from the Fever. You can never have too much experience off the bench. You got to make those calls, and you got to see that. You got to figure out because between Raquana's money and Simone Augustus' money, That's more than $250,000 that you can spread between, because Chelsea's already getting basically the max she can get. You have Candace, who needs another 80 to 100,000. You have NECA, who needs another 80 to 100,000. That's still less money than if you don't pay Simone and don't pay Raquana. You still got enough money to pay all them. The problem is you don't have any depth, and you have to have 11 players. You can pretty much make it work if you commit to having a roster of 11 until you get to the end of the season where you can spread out to the 12 and everybody like that. You can make it work, but it's going to be tight. But if you really want to make it work, you have to basically tell them, like, this is how much money we have. Y'all decide how much y'all want to be paid, and we can bring this other person.
I don't know if any of them taking a pay cut.
They don't have to take pay cuts. That's what I'm saying. They just don't get raises. They don't take pay cuts. They just don't get raises because they were all going to be on the roster this year.
So
Christy was going to be on there. Chanae was going to be on there. Maria was going to be on there. All of those players was going to be on there. And Chelsea and Christy were going to have basically maxes.
Question. So you want NECA to have a hand in getting the new contracts put in and then not take the new contract?
No, I want NECA to get the max.
But that's the only one you want to get the max?
I want them all to get the max.
So out of all the hard work and dedication that Candace gave the Sparks all these years, you don't think she deserved a new max?
I think she does. I think they all deserve the max. I think they have to realistically say, like, we're gonna have 11 players, and we're gonna pay y'all as much as we can.
So question again.
But realistically though, if you can take 20,000 from each of them, and that gives you enough for another roster spot,
they give them 20,000. I don't think that's happening. I do not think that's happening.
They can all get $60,000 raises instead of like 85, 90, 100.
I wish I would help a new contract get put in. Then I don't take it.
She's getting the max.
Your mind.
That's why I'm saying they figured out between themselves. Like, if Chelsea Gray, Candace Parker, Nneka Ogwumike were all in a room together, and they were talking about WNBA salaries in the totality of everything that everybody does for the league, and they had to split a pot, I think that Chelsea and Candace would be selfless enough to know that Nneka deserves more WNBA money than them.
Oh, whoa. Hold on, wait. Candace Parker is one of the biggest stars in WNBA history. I could call my dad right now and be like, yo, who Candace Parker, who is Nneka? He might not know who Nneka is. He know who Candace Parker is.
But there was no season without Nneka.
That's dope.
And Nneka took on the stress of leading the Wubble, and that's why she didn't play in the last game. That's why she had back issues, and that's why she had migraines.
And look, that is fire, and that is incredible. But for the totality of Candace Parker's career, if you had to put a face of the league, it is Candace Parker. So how you gonna say that she don't deserve the money she don't deserve? She deserves as much money as she can get it. The whole way, real quick, the Sparks can't pay her enough money for she's up for the Sparks.
Exactly. So the Sparks can't pay her enough. So
she gonna take less?
No, listen. What I'm saying is the Sparks can't pay her enough. They can't actually pay Candace Parker her true worth. Okay, so what I'm saying is Candace Parker's life is fine right now, making 120. The fact that they can keep everybody and Candace Parker makes 120 or 150, or somebody has to leave, but Candace Parker gets to make 185 or 200. I don't think that she would look at it like that. Candace Parker can easily make $50,000 back real quick doing other stuff.
But it's about you can, but like
she can make that back.
You can, but it's also the principle though. And then
it is the principle. I agree. That's why I say you got to have 11 players.
It's the principle, and two, I don't think that should be Candace's job. I don't think it should be Candace's job to figure out how she can take less money to make the team better. I think that's on somebody else. I think that's also on management to be smart and savvy and figure out what they can do. I don't think that's on Candace Parker to put it on on herself.
Can't take less. The only people who can take less are people who are not under contract.
I mean, obviously, but again, I think that's
like Christy is locked in.
Yes, but that's a team issue. That's not on the players.
You
I
don't
don't
want
care.
Christy Tolliver to be your highest paid player, do you?
I don't mind.
But she'd be paid more than NECA. You just told me that NECA got to get the same or more.
Wait, no, I'm saying NECA has to get the max. I'm saying, yes.
Right.
She needs to get the max. So should Candace.
No. The real max is 215.
And NECA can't get that?
Christy Tolliver has the 185, 190.
Yeah, and NECA can't get
that's $30,000 difference.
NECA can't get the 215 max?
She should.
She should get it. Her and Candace should both get that. Now, Chelsea, especially based off the season that she had last season, that's debatable. And that might be where
Chelsea is not going to get a pay cut. Chelsea paid 185 too. They're not going to cut her pay.
But listen, that's where it's something where if Chelsea really wants that extra, however much money, and some other team offers that to her, that may be a person that you may see leave. But NECA and Candace for sure getting that 215. Now, like I said, Chelsea, that's a person now. If anybody might have to sacrifice, that may be her. And she may have to look in the mirror and decide, how much do I want to be in LA, or do I want that extra $30,000 to $40,000?
This is the thing, bro. This is the thing. If two of them had the 215 and two of them had the 185, that is literally $800,000. The salary cap can't be much more than 1.3. So it's really hard to sign 7 additional players for 500,000. That's impossible.
Figure that out.
That's impossible.
Not impossible. They got to figure that out.
No, it's impossible because you can't have, like, they would have to basically get rid of everybody and get people on Christina Nigwe, Maria Vadiva rookie deals. There would be no Chene unless Chene wants to take a pay cut, like a real pay cut. They could keep Taya Cooper. They could keep Maria Vadiva type contracts. They could keep
Brittany gonna be gone.
Yeah, Brittany will be gone.
I think Brittany might be gone in general though. I think that somebody might offer Brittany more money than what
the Sparks
they're willing to pay.
That's possible.
Honestly, even with Taya Cooper, I mean, even like just looking from like our views,
Taya can't get Taya has to basically, if Taya wants to play in the WNBA, she has to accept whatever the Sparks are going to offer. Now, the Sparks could decide that she's worth more than what she's paid now, and they could say, "Oh, well, you know what? We really want to pay you 80 and be, equitable." But like,
no other team can offer her.
No other team can offer Taya money or Janae money. So both of them, they just have to agree. If they want to play, they have to agree to the salary.
Oh, well, then Janae can take she don't need what she need, $100,000.
So Janae is going to be the one to take the discount, so then everybody can say.
She need $100,000 for?
Because you just told me she's one of the most marketable names in the whole league. And the last time we talked, you told me that if anybody was going to get a max on the roster, she was one of the max players.
Oh,
that's what you told me.
I probably did. You got a point there.
So, I agree.
Yeah,
she could be the one that for 1 year, because the thing is, if this doesn't work after this next year, it's not going to work. Like, they can't keep doing this over and over and over and over and expecting to win a championship with the same core roster. Like, eventually they're going to have to go their separate ways, whether that's people retire or people just move on to different teams and try to do it a different way. So that's why I'm saying 1 more year of some people making some level of sacrifice makes sense to me. If in addition to bringing everybody back and having essentially the roster you were going to have last year, you can still bring in another piece. I still think you can improve this roster by adding a 3-point shooting guard / 3-point shooting wing.
I think you added one, Chrissy.
Add another one. Do you know how many shooters the Mystics had when they won? It was like most of the roster was shooting threes.
Yes.
Do you know how many shooters the Storm had? Like everybody but Jordan Canada was shooting threes. Everybody but Jordan Canada was shooting threes.
Natasha really wasn't putting the ball up like that.
Natasha Howard can shoot threes though.
Yeah,
when it's
but
open,
she wasn't putting the ball up like that though.
She didn't need to that year, but we saw her last year making threes. We saw her last year making threes.
We did. But she wasn't putting the ball up like that. I mean, yeah, but everybody on the Sparks for the most part, outside like Christina Nigwe, can shoot. That played can shoot.
Right.
They
Yeah.
just, for whatever reason, don't
and they
spread out the way that they should all the time. But
right.
they, for the most part, everybody can. Like I said, they're okay shooters. They don't have any great shooters for the most part, but they have okay shooters.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I think you're making a really logical point that if anybody from the big three leaves, that is Chelsea Gray. But I just think that Chelsea Gray wants to see this through with Candace Parker, because there will be a point, no matter how long Candace Parker plays in the WNBA, there will be a point when Chelsea Gray will play once Candace Parker retires. There will be that point. There's no way that they play the same amount of time in the WNBA.
Yeah, obviously.
So
yeah, obviously.
I think that Chelsea is cherishing this time that she has with Candace. And especially now that you saw year 13 renewed Candace Parker, to walk away from Candace Parker now. Because if NECA plays that last game, they probably would win that game and then be in a series against the Storm. They would have had a much better chance of winning that game if NECA would have played.
Maybe, but then, yeah, maybe.
And then we saw them basically beat the Storm without NECA. Like, they had a plan for the Storm. They didn't have a plan to play without NECA.
I mean, they had a plan for the Storm, but same time, that was in one game. You got to beat them 3 out of 5 games. That's
true. I'm not saying that they would have beat them, but I'm just saying they had a plan for the Storm.
They had a plan, yes, get physical.
They had a plan, get physical, and make Breonna Stewart a volume shooter. Make Breonna Stewart take a bunch of shots.
Because that's not what she wants to do.
Even still, one person is most likely not going to beat you by themselves.
Yes, and that's just not really what her game is. She strikes me as a more Tim Duncan type of game. Like, Tim Duncan not going to go out there and take 35. If Tim Duncan took 35 shots, I don't know what happened.
The only time Tim Duncan took 35 shots is when he was shooting that commercial with Kobe back in the day.
That Sprite
commercial.
Sprite commercial, yeah. So
Tim Duncan showed me something.
Ain't really, So that ain't, and that's not what Breonna wants to do. But no, I think it'll be an interesting season. All season. I just hope, for one, that they don't panic too. I hope they don't panic too much, because again, I said for both leagues, it's an unprecedented situation this year. Hopefully we don't have another year like this ever again in sports.
Right.
In life, honestly. Hopefully we'll have another year quite like this ever again. So it's kind of unprecedented. I don't think the Sparks are that far away. And also, one of the people you signed who would have made a difference. Would have made a huge difference.
Right.
And how everything turned out wasn't there. I still think you need to play this team, or most of this team, the way that you actually signed it last year.
I agree.
So I don't think that you need to make too many changes. If somebody like let me get started. Like let's say Brittany wants to leave, because I think Brittany has played her way into some nice money. So let's say Brittany, wants to leave because some team feels like, like you said, maybe not build around, but she can be a very key component to what we're trying to do in our organization.
If you have cap room, why not spend it on her?
Yeah, she can come in and be a very, like I said, important piece of what we're trying to do. But don't make too many brash moves, man. Just stick with what you got, see it through, and like you said, give it one more year. Now you come out next year, y'all get smoked up in the first round. Okay, it's time to reevaluate some things. You may come out next year, you may win a ring. You may come out, you may go to the finals. Mm-hmm. Maybe you lose, but you feel good about what you did that season. You're like, you know what? Bring it back again, and we can get over the hump.
I feel what you're saying, but let me add this. Whatever they do, and yes, I agree that they want to essentially run it back and have the roster that they thought they were going to have this year, because they finished third without Christy Tolliver and without Janae Agumake. Now, they wouldn't have had Taya Cooper if Christy would have been there, but Christy Tolliver is a better player than Taya Cooper, more experienced player than Taya Cooper. I mean, that's just a fact. Maybe Taya Cooper can get to that one day, but not yet. So, but this is what I want to tell you, and this is what I want to tell everybody watching. So appreciate everybody watching on YouTube, or if you're going to listen to this later, the podcast version. But if I am the Sparks, I want to leave myself open for the possibility of what seems impossible now. Diana Taurasi seems impossible. Aerial Powers, contract-wise, seems impossible. You know, there are some other players, seems impossible. Liz Cambage contract seems impossible.
Do not want Liz Cambage. Shout out Liz Cambage, but I don't think she's a
All I'm
great
saying is they don't want to.
Off the court, it's great though. Be incredible for off the court. Be incredible.
All I'm saying is they don't want to commit to someone's specific salary until they know who else they might be able to slide in here. Because like you said, or like I said, if Diana Taurasi says, you know what, I'm tired of Phoenix, Brittany Griner, say like for some reason Brittany Griner says she's not gonna play next year or something like that, and Diana Taurasi's like, you know what, I love you, Skylar, but I just want to go home and try something different for you. I saw Simone Augustus do it. It seemed like it was fun. So let's just say for some reason, a player like that who is unexpected wants to come to the Sparks. You try to fit that person in first, and then you tell everybody else, like, yeah, everybody else you're staying. You just want to leave a little bit of flexibility in their salary, because just $2,000 would have made a difference if Beatrice Montpremier would have been on the team instead of Christina Nigwe. So you got to have just a little bit of flexibility until it's time to like sign right on the dotted line, because is $2,000 really going to make that much difference if you can add a whole nother player?
Depends on who you're talking to. 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 Everybody got different financial situations. I want to say no, but it depends on who you're talking to.
Chelsea donated money. Candace Parker has donated money and done things in the past. NECA is, from what I know, is a very financially savvy, frugal
I'm sure
person.
they all have money.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you want to have flexibility. You don't want to lock yourself into a situation where you have to cut somebody because you can't afford them.
Yes, but the thing is this, like, when it comes to players' value, like, it's like LeBron taking a pay cut. Like, yeah, now granted, he did do that in
Miami.
Listen, he did do that in Miami. But ever since then, he's never taken, like, no, like, pay me what I'm owed. I am this is me, pay me what I am owed.
They're not taking pay cuts though, bro. That's what I'm telling you. They all would technically make more than they've been making for their whole WNBA career. That's not a pay cut. That's just not getting your maximum value. And I say this to say again, I believe that they're all worth their maximum value. But I'm talking about constructing a roster with a limited salary cap.
I think they take their maximum value and they let the
chips fall. They everybody get their money and just walk away.
Now, like I said, the one who may not get the 215, and also you can justify it based off, but her play last year is Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't think last year she justified the 215 max. Now, if this was the year before, hell yeah, give her all that money because she was balling. Last year it was a little bit up and down. Like, I don't think she necessarily justified that. Candace and NECA off GP out of respect.
Right.
You give her the 215. Candace too. But also she deserves it, but also Candace too. Like, out of like respect. If you can get 215 now for all the years you couldn't give her 215, you give her 215. It's like when Cole got the contract with that 24 million with the Lakers. Was he worth 24 million at that point in time on the court? Not, and this not saying that Candace isn't, because she clearly is. But was he worth on the court? No. But it's Cole. You give that man that money for what he's done for your franchise. Same with Candace. You give Candace that 215 for what she's done for that franchise. Now everybody else, it's discussion. But them two, you get that 215 to them.
Okay. Well, then they're going to have some really tough decisions then, because like you said, there are a lot of people who deserve raises.
Have Christy coming back. Let's not forget you have Christy coming back.
I know. Christy is the main one trying to tell everybody come back. Come back.
You have one of the best isolation scorers in the game.
Yes.
Which is one thing that I think they were missing. Because outside of Chelsea, for the most part, since I've been watching the Sparks, they really ain't had no creators outside of her. She's the only one from the guard position. Well, Raquana too, but she's 5'6", 5'7". Right. I think sometimes it also takes a lot for her to be able to create. And also,
Oliver's the same size,
but she's less,
and she's actually slighter.
But she's less streaky.
That's true.
That's my next one. Like she's like Raquana she might score 30 or she might score 3.
That's true.
Christy, I trust to at least give me 14 consistently.
That's true. That's true.
So you have her coming back. I don't think that you need to go out and think, yo, we got to make a huge splash. You're making your huge splash.
No, I agree.
Christy coming back.
You don't have to make a huge splash, but I'm saying if somebody who is unexpected wants to come, you got to let them come.
And also, that might be the problem with the Sparks in general. Throughout history, they have just thrown names at problems. You don't need to throw names at problems. How about you go scout and get people that actually fit the roster? Don't just throw names at issues.
I think
that's an LA sports problem in general.
Well, I think that this last year, they must have done some sort of scouting, and Taya Cooper helped the roster. Brittany Sykes, that trade, she helped the roster. Like, they are improving.
Yeah.
They are improving in their acquisition of players.
You don't need to go get Liz. Like, why? What? How is she gonna help you? Now, off the court, it's gonna be incredible. If we can have fans in the stands, a lot of people will come to see Liz Cambage.
It's Liz Cambage, so man.
Look,
you just let it happen.
I would love to speak to her many times a week. It'd be great. But basketball wise, I don't think it makes much sense. It's a very LA sports thing to do.
Liz agent is here.
That's dope.
Same agent as Chanae, same agent as Chelsea.
That's dope. Let her go somewhere else.
Okay.
Now, if she ended up here again, like I said, ticket sales, you are an organization. If you can have fans in the stands.
She's not my priority. She's not my priority. If I had to pick the best free agent for the Sparks that would actually like do something for them day one, if she was feeling good and healthy, it's Taurasi. If you thought Simone Augustus gave them a spark, Taurasi definitely go give him a spark.
Yeah, the issue with
Taurasi is maintain what she did last year.
Yes, but the issue with Taurasi though is at a certain point in time that become one basketball. And when you're used to playing somewhere for like one type of way for 18 years, now you taking the ball out of her hand a little bit more.
You're playing like Team USA. LA Sparks equals Team USA. You do that.
And they lost to Oregon.
All right, well, we can end it on that because you're right.
They lost to Oregon. They lost to Oregon.
Yeah, they did. They did. They was also bull. They lost to Oregon. But I appreciate this discussion. We'll have to keep talking about it because, I want people to let me know, on Twitter at John W. Davis. Like, let me know where you think a better place for Candace Parker is other than the Sparks. Because I don't see it. Pavy doesn't see it. We don't see it. Like, yeah, you can tell us a story about the Dream. You can tell us a story about Chicago. She actually from Naperville. And yes, she reps Chicago, but that's not the same thing. Right?
Thank you for saying that's not the same thing. No.
That's
Naperville
is
the Chicagoland area. I am actually from Chicago. I didn't go to Naperville until I was like 23 years old.
Right. So this man spent his whole life and never went.
I didn't even know like low key growing up. I didn't actually know Candace was from Chicago until like the McDonald's on America game. Like, oh, she's from Naperville. Like, oh, but even still, like you look at Naperville, you don't think Chicago, you think Naperville. Right. Now, Cappy, shout out Cappy for being safe. Cappy's from Chicago. Okay. Like actually Chicago. I think she actually went to Marshall, if I'm not mistaken, out west.
Oh.
So like I think if I'm not, I think it's with the Marshall out west. Though that's like from Chicago. Even like Jewel Lloyd, she's from like Lincolnwood. That's not Chicago.
That's where my dude went. My dude went there, Arthur Agee, on Hoop Dreams.
He didn't go to Lincolnwood.
No, Marshall.
Oh yeah, Marshall. Yeah. He went there, and also Pat Bev went there.
Okay, they got a good history for guards then.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the whole city of Chicago. It's a great history for guards.
Great history for guards, yes.
Great history for guard play. But we'll have to do this again. We'll continue to talk about this because that's the thing. We're not going to be able to predict free agency. We could talk about it as much as we want to talk about it, which is great. And we will continue to talk about it. But there will be some surprises because no one saw Bonner to the Sun, and that worked out. I mean, who knows what the Sun are going to do? Because all they got to do is bring Jonquel Jones back, and their team is better.
It's true.
Like, they don't have to do anything except re-sign people and pay them. And their team is already one of the best teams in the league. The Storm, all they got to do is say, hey, y'all, come back and play.
Yeah.
But they have free agents too. Clark is a free agent. Somebody might want to give her some money. Natasha Howard is a free agent. Somebody might want to give her some money. That's the thing. Like, players will move. But, you know, again, there's only so much you can get paid in the WNBA, especially when you go over to Russia and you're getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, close to $1 million. You're getting $500,000 to play overseas, some of these players. You can make your money elsewhere, but you still should be paid your worth here. So that's the dilemma. That's the balance. But all right, John W. Davis, Suspended Spark Report. You can find me on Twitter at John W. Davis. Pavy, where can we find you? And is it time for the songs about the women's?
Actually, yes. You can find me on Twitter at Pavy, P-A-V-Y, word, all one word. And on Monday, because I don't like doing Friday releases because so much stuff comes out, I will be putting out the first song of Songs About Women, which is called Letter to My Exes. So look out for that.
Does this one have a WNBA reference? Give us
this one does not. No, it does.
But one of them does.
One of them will have a WNBA reference, yes. When the project comes out, it will, yes.
That's what's up. I'm feeling that. That's what I'm feeling. All right, y'all. Suspended Spark Report. John W. Davis and Pavy. All right, y'all. Peace.